And I'm really excited, potentially, if I'm given the opportunity to get involved in this type of thing with the permitting process and continuing the permits and doing what we need to do to continue to see the system work as it has. The dredging, to me, I have some questions, but it's done well, except I've read, I just don't know how much material we've taken out of the lake, for example, in this year, although it has been considerable. But it just kind of shows you, with as many projects as there are, as to how difficult it is to balance everything when you're dealing with all these different agencies, such as the Corps of Engineers, such as the Department of Ecology, the DNR, Bureau of Reclamation, and everybody else. And I think that's what we need to keep in mind in looking out for everybody, because this is something that, again, everybody's already mentioned, and it's true, that affects everybody across the board. So it's in everybody's best interest to get on the same page and to work through this and to do the best we can to leave this in the best shape possible for our future generations. Thank you.
It is now time for our prepared questions. Candidates, remember, these are 2-minute responses. 2-minute responses. First question, Mr. David Skog. Do you think the MLIRD should repair or replace the failing Moses Lake Dam? And what might happen if we have a high water event as the dam in its current condition now? Please explain.
I guess there's a lot of questions that would have to be answered before you could make an educated statement about it. My initial comment or thoughts are, do we need 2 dams? I don't know if one dam can handle the water flow, if it's a matter of it takes 2 of them to get the lake drained in time. I don't know. I don't know that, I think maintaining a dam does give us some clout as far as our reservoir rights go. I would not like to see that given up. But, you know, I don't know, do we need 2 corks in the same bathtub? Maybe, maybe not. If the Bureau wants to let the lake down and we don't, the lake's going down. If the Bureau wants the lake up and we don't, the lake stays up because they're got a bigger stick. So, I don't know, there's a lot of questions about it. I would think it should be very well researched and you know, looked at and see what do we need to do. It's a big expenditure. If we need to make it, we need to make it. If we don't need it, then don't make it. But it takes a lot of research right now at this point.
Mr. Ron Cody, do you think the MLIRD should repair or replace the failing Moses Lake Dam? What might happen if we have a high water event as the dam is in its current condition? Please explain.
Well, I'm kind of the odd man out. As you see, I choose to stand when I address you. Yes, I think the dam needs to be replaced. The Bureau has told MLIRD that if we had a high water event, their dam, the South Dam, would not be able to handle it. Right now, our old dam, built in 1928, was able to handle 1,200 cubic feet per second. The Bureau dam can handle 1,800 cubic feet per second. If we get the federal funding, which our legislators have said we are going to get, because we don't have the money in-house, then we will move forward with the dam project and rebuild it at 3,000 cubic feet per second. That way we will be able to handle the flows as they need to be addressed. If a high water event happened, the Bureau's dam is not big enough to bring the water level down. If we do not have a dam in place and the Bureau's dam should fail, then the watermark would go from 1047 all the way to 1038. And if that happened, everybody on the lake would be unable to get out to the water level. The Bureau has indicated to our general manager that it's very important that we get our dam replaced. They are supportive of it. And once again, we need the grant money, we need the federal funds. If we don't get it, we can't build the dam. But once we do get the money, which we've been assured that will come from the federal budget, then we do need to move forward.
Next question from Mr. Cody. What sets you apart from your opponent?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think you've heard so far that my opponent has some real serious questions about the functioning of MLIRD. Well, I've attended every board meeting for 3 years. I have made myself available to staff. I know the ins and outs. I'm not concerned about the dredging project because I know the dredge is hydraulically taking the sediment out of the lake. We had a report that was moved forth in 2012, and the report came back just about a month ago, and the report from the local firm said dredging hydraulically was the only way to go, that it was half the cost of dredging mechanically. So we're doing the right thing, we're moving forward the way we should, and I think that it's important that we all share in this most pristine commodity that we have, and that is our lake.
Mr. David Scott, what sets you apart from your opponent?
I think I can get along with people. I think I can be level-headed and make good decisions. I think that I can ask people to be accountable. I think I can look at numbers and I can measure results. I think I can ask people to do things and see what gets done. I don't tend to jump at shiny things. If somebody tells me it's working, I want to see it and I want to measure it. I think I just have a better mind of looking at things and measuring productivity and measuring success. And I don't need to kid anyone or need to, and I don't care what the results come out to be. If they're good, I'll tell you they're good. If they're not, I'll tell you they're not good. And I don't have any other agenda other than let's measure it, let's get something done, let's do what needs to be done, but let's measure it. And I think I would be a much better measurer.
Next question for Mr. Skog. Do you support the dredging process?
I support a process that removes the sediment from the lake. From what I'm told, if you look at how much sediment has been removed, we're not on track. If we were doing 50, 60,000 cubic yards a year as per Vladimir Shepsis, the hydraulic engineer, had suggested we would do, that's 600 truckloads a year. We're not anywhere close to that. If it works, it works. But I'm waiting for somebody to say, this year we got out this many cubic yards, and that is not rocket science. That's X times Y times Z divided by 9. We know how many cubic yards. I don't want to drive by and see if there's a trench in the water or if there's something I can't see. I just want to measure it. And if the dredge does what it's supposed to do and needs to do it at a pace that is reasonable, I'm all for it. But if it doesn't, I'm not.
Okay, next question, Mr. Foster, Jeff Foster, and again, remember these are 2-minute responses. Describe your experience serving on boards, public or nonprofit, and your experience working with budgets.
I think I've touched on that already. I've had, as I mentioned, 17 years of banking experience where I've reviewed businesses from small business to Fortune 1000 size companies, help them make decisions on what type of financing they should better use to meet their needs. My board activity, as I mentioned, I served as treasurer. I was the charter treasurer for Grand County Economic Development Council. And as I mentioned, on that 22,000 member board of directors out of Kirkland called the Northwest Multiple Listing Service. I've been successful in running my own business as well. And I think that's important to know when you put together a plan, you measure the results of that plan, you make adjustments. If it's working, great. If it's not working, you figure out what you do to make a difference. You go back, you reassess your plan, you move forward. I'm not confident whether or not this board has put together a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan, looking long-term. I think I bring the skills to the table to do that.